Alright, so this video will be a bit different. I'm not going to put it under a specific series as I am not sure where it would fit. So this will be a one-off type of thing. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about why a reboot/sequel series to a super popular 2000s Disney Channel show got cancelled. Let's get into it. Lizzie McGuire was a super popular Disney Channel sitcom that ran from 2001 to 2004 and ended with a film titled The Lizzie McGuire Movie. The show followed Lizzie, played by Hilary Duff, as she would go through her life as a typical teenage girl. In other words, a premise that has been done dozens and dozens of times. What made this show unique though? Well, aside from the insane clothing style that the characters had, Lizzie had her own inner monologue, presented in the form of an animated version of herself that the show would cut through several times an episode. The animated character would describe how Lizzie is feeling or how Lizzie would want to react to whatever situation she's going through, like seeing a boy she likes or getting picked on by the most popular girl in school. This show, while the plot is really basic, was absolutely huge. Like if you were around in the early 2000s, this show was everywhere. There were books, toys, and even video games. This show was easily one of Disney's biggest shows, up there with their other massive shows like Hannah Montana and That's So Raven. So a reboot/sequel series 20 years later would make sense. The show was massive at its time, and the kids who grew up with it are now adults and around the age where they are feeling nostalgic about their past. So making a reboot just makes sense. It would really be easy money into Disney's greedy, filthy pockets. Well, believe it or not, this almost happened. In fact, production started, but it was unfortunately cancelled, and for reasons I believe are stupid. Let's just get into it. In 2019, the original creator of Lizzie McGuire, Terry Minsky, signed a new deal with Disney to produce shows for Disney+. It's shortly after an announcement was made that a new Lizzie McGuire revival series was going to happen. The series was going to bring back several people from the original show, such as obviously Hilary Duff as Lizzie, her family in the show were all set to come back, and Adam Lambert, who played Gordo, was also returning. The plot was going to once again follow Lizzie, but she is now 30 years old and living in New York City, and working as an apprentice to an interior decorator. She was also engaged to her dream man and was living her best life, but due to receiving some sort of significant news, she has to go back to LA. The show would also once again feature Lizzie's animated alter ego, giving the viewers insight on what Lizzie is feeling and how she wants to react to things in her life. Overall, this seems like an alright plot. Definitely feels like a logical career path and life that Lizzie would have, so everything seems good then, I guess. And at first, Disney thought the same thing, as 2 episodes were filmed, but that would quickly change. Early on into production, problems started arising between the show's creator, Terry Minsky, and Disney. Disney started having problems with the show's direction, as both Terry Minsky and Hilary Duff wanted the show to be more adult-oriented, which makes total sense as the people who grew up with the original show are now in their 20s and 30s, and Disney, being fucking Disney, wanted the show to be geared towards children. Unfortunately for everyone involved, the issue could not be resolved between the two parties, and Terry Minsky walked away from the show in early 2020.
I haven't got time for this Mickey Mouse bullshit!
After she left, Disney decided to halt their show until they could decide basically what to do with it. But let's be honest here, what they wanted was another Girl Meets World or Ravenous Home. A super safe, kid-friendly show they could toss onto Disney Plus and then move on to the next project, and that is honestly kind of disappointing. Anyways, after the show was halted, Disney tried to get something going, but it just did not pan out. Hilary Duff even suggested to Disney that they should put the show on Hulu instead, due to the show being more adult-oriented. But Disney weren't willing to roll the dice. Plus, the pandemic started in 2020, so I am sure that made things a lot more difficult too. Due to all of that, by the end of 2020, Disney announced that the Lizzie McGuire sequel series was cancelled. Hilary Duff also made a post on her Instagram following the announcement, basically saying she is saddened by this news and feels bad for the fans who were excitedly waiting for the series to come out. And honestly, the cancellation of the show is disappointing. Everyone involved in the show were clearly excited about what they were making and where they were taking the show, but Disney just had to put a stop to it because God forbid they allow people to make a show based on one of their properties in a not kid-friendly way. As previously mentioned, it clearly wanted another Ravenous Home-esque show that was geared towards kids and played it very safe and bland in order to appease everyone and not risk possibly coming off as controversial or anything like that. I feel bad for everyone involved, as clearly a ton of passion and care was going into this project, and I hope one day maybe Disney will reverse their decision and restart production of the show once again, but I feel that is sadly too far gone at this point. So that is where we will end this video. If you liked what you saw and want to watch more videos like this one, hit the subscribe button and ring that bell to be notified when we upload a new video. Also, follow me on my socials to keep up with whatever I am doing. And lastly, I would like to give a shout out to our super patron Ryan Smith. If you'd like to become a patron like Ryan, then hit the first link in the description below to donate to our Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Till next time, take care everyone.